Hey, this is Aaron Smith, the Art Guy. There's a lot more gray in my beard than I thought I saw last time. And let's do another vlog update. So, basically, I started having my students hand in weekly video updates showcasing what they've done that week. I'm doing this specifically with my majors because their projects are a lot more involved, usually take multiple weeks to complete, and this is a good way for them to document their progress and their learning. And they're not due, the first batch isn't due until today, but several students have already submitted theirs, and you get the bell curve of results. The biggest problem we've got right now is I'm still requiring students to include a title and credits in every video they hand in, even if it's just a short weekly video update type thing where it's supposed to be like 1 minute of them saying, hey, look at what I did. I did show them in class how they could add a title and credits using YouTube's video editor, which I tend to shy away from. And by shy, I mean run screaming from, because for any long format video, it's a pain to work with and I despise it. I have seen it totally erase my work on more than one occasion, or say there was an error and I had to start all over again. So I usually just don't use it for anything. But if you have a really short video, like 5 minutes or under, or in the case of these projects, I'm asking my students to aim for 1 minute. Adding credits and a title and then throwing the video in there and hitting the export button, well, that'll finish processing in just a few minutes, and it's very easy for them to take that finished work and submit it for a grade. So that should work out really well. I had several students doing it yesterday in class, and they were having a pretty easy time with it. So cautiously optimistic that this is going to work well. The two biggest problems: one, getting them to make sure they always had title and credits. Some of them are still a little lazy in that regard. But I've got other students that are still looking at this like it's a full-blown project, which I've really tried to emphasize that it is not. They are showcasing what they have already done, and they really shouldn't be spending a lot of time on these updates. Their time should be spent on doing the project. Like, sometimes I'll record myself playing something in Minecraft where I'll do this huge build and I'll spend hours working on it off and on, and at the end of it I record a video saying, hey, look at what this thing is that I did. I'm not recording myself playing the game for hours and hours and hours. I'm not recording myself building this thing. I'm basically at the end showcasing, hey, look at this thing that I did, and it would have been really boring to watch me do it, but isn't it cool now that it's done? That's kind of what I'm looking for from these video updates, where the students are showcasing what they've done that week. And if they spend too much time working on the update and too much time producing it, I had one student, the maximum I'll allow for this project is 5 minutes. He submitted a video that was exactly 5 minutes long, and it was entertaining. He did produce it well. He included text overlays explaining what we were seeing in each shot. And I kind of feel bad for giving him a grade as a weekly video update, because the amount of work he did, it should count as a project grade, which is slightly different in how many points it's worth. So I basically had to tell him, it's not common that I have to tell students you did way too much work. In this case, you did. Cut this down next time. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. The next thing I really want to focus on with my majors is BYOT, bring your own technology. Now, many of them already do. They bring their cell phones, they bring iPads or iPods, or insert device here. That's not as common as phones in general, but they do bring their own devices. I would love to start seeing them bring their computers in as well. Several of my students have their own laptops that they use on a regular basis at home, and based on what I know about technology, they're probably several degrees of magnitude better than the machines that we have in the building. C'est la vie, that's how technology works, and that's how school budgets work. Well, school policy allows me to let them bring them in. Several of their parents have allowed that already in the past. I would like to encourage it to happen more often. So I have this table. It's actually what this camera is attached to right now, this little tripod that I'd love to show you, but I'd have to shake the camera all around to do it. It's kind of weird. But this table I was using as my desk, to be very honest. And during class time, if I have time to sit down at my desk, then the students aren't asking me enough questions. So I really shouldn't be using this as a desk at all. I've cleared off most of it already. I'll be finishing that today, except for a wall outlet splitter type thing and some USB cords so that students can come in, plug their laptop in here, and work on their projects in class. I'm still here as a resource, but we're working on their computer that they are more familiar with and they have the rights to do things on, as opposed to school computers where it's much more limited, and as much as I love Camtasia, it tends to crash a lot. I'm not blaming Camtasia, I'm blaming the fact that these are 32-bit machines that are 3 years old. So there you go. So I'd love to encourage that more. I think students would be more willing to do that if they had a definite place where they could work, as opposed to trying to shove the keyboard for their other computer aside and get the laptop up on the table. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing how it goes. I haven't opened that topic with the students yet. That's going to be coming up. Right now we are focusing on the video updates, and like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic how those are going. Last up, I just registered for a conference. Hopefully I'm going to get reimbursed for that. The paperwork is in for reimbursement, but that needs to be approved by people higher than me. That's going to be taking place in February and March. Last day in February, first 2 days in March. It's in Baltimore, which is local for me. It's actually a shorter commute to drive there than it is to drive to my school. And I'm really looking forward, again, cautiously optimistic. I have been to really good conferences and really bad conferences. I am cautiously optimistic that this one's going to be pretty awesome, and I'm going to learn a lot, and I'll have a lot to share in updates like this. So we'll see how that goes. So there we go. That's what I have on my plate right now. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, by all means, let me know. Until next time, this is Aaron Smith, the Art Guy, saying, have fun.